This is what we remember.
There needs to be more movies. Ooh, so that's right.
Let me
Shaking
eat
it
this
up.
one other chip first before we start.
We're already starting. This is gonna be the intro. It's gonna be you eating a chip, real
Savoring
nice
it.
and crunchy. Your tiki
Get on that tiki marsala.
Tiki Marsalad. That's a great rapper name.
Tiki marsala.
Tiki Marsalad. Welcome to What We Saw. I went to the Traverse City Film Festival this year, and I saw 3 films. Only went there 2 days, but they were really good. And
Yeah?
Traverse City is awesome. It's like Ann
It's true.
Arbor, but it's full of lakes.
Did you go by yourself?
I have friends who live in Interlochen there. My friends Jack
Oh,
and
okay.
Tom.
Good,
So I get
good
to
stuff.
stay with them. They're like 25 minutes away.
It's a beautiful country up there.
So you saw them. You went and saw the movies by yourself. They didn't come with you.
They
at
came with.
all,
They came
at
with.
all.
No, I mean there might.
They were like, we're not gonna be there, so it's okay for you to be there because we don't want to see you.
That next year that might happen because I want to go longer for sure. I wasn't sure if I was gonna love it or like it or whatever, so I just went for 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the whole time next year. Take the whole week off.
So wait, the whole time is a weekend? Is it a whole?
It's
week?
Wednesday to Sunday.
Okay.
Okay.
They have movies every night. 3 movies at 9. They have a beach set up where they blow up like 100 foot screen.
Whoa.
Show
very
movies
cool.
out there,
Very
and
cool.
there's always popcorn.
Now the movies they're showing out there is that
Those are like the
old
trend. Those are
movies
like
or
the
new
trendy movies. Like they had Wayne's World. They played Shrek, Jurassic World. They have like crowd pleaser films
Okay.
out there for the
Now,
movies.
do you buy admittance to the festival and then see things, or do you pay for each specific
You
film
pay
you're going to see?
each specific film.
Okay.
You can pay like a $50 membership, and you get to buy the tickets in advance. So if there are ones that sell out,
Yeah.
because I think almost a lot of movies were. By the time a movie aired, it was sold out, but there were still tickets left before the movie started.
Okay. Isn't this like something that Michael Moore sponsors?
Yep, he sponsors it,
What I understand is that he was one of the founders of the.
and he also curates the entire festival. He has seen
Okay.
every film that was played there, and this year he tried to focus on female directors. So I think almost every movie had a female director, or at least like
Most of them.
most of them. Yeah.
Okay.
He tried to get that to happen.
Cool.
And they were all, really good. They definitely aren't all female because I saw one that was not allowed to talk. That's a Hunt for the Wilder People.
Hunt for the Wilder.
Hunt for the Wilder People.
Okay.
Which is a Tiki Waititi film, who's the creator of Flight of the Conchords.
Tiki Marsala film?
Tiki Marsala film. Tiki Marsala. Not a sponsor, but should be. What an excuse to get Andy to
This
eat it.
episode brought to you by Lay's Tiki Marsala potato chips.
It's so good.
So say the director's name one more time, because I
Tiki Waititi.
very.
I think that is his name.
I dig it.
He did What We Do in the Shadows. Did you guys see that film?
Is that the vampire movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have wanted
I've
to see
heard
it. I
of
have
it,
not.
but I have not seen
You
it.
should see it. It's really good.
Okay.
But he's created the Flight of the Conchords. This movie, it had Sam Neill in it, so I mean you're already on board, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Take place in New Zealand, and it's kind of like a lone wolf and cub story, where a little kid ends up having to stay out in the bush with Sam Neill and learn the ropes.
Okay.
And he's like,
dinosaurs too.
"Yep, there weren't any dinosaurs, but there were animals, a lot of animals in the film, and they kind of get set up where they're on the run because the authorities think that Sam Neill stole the kid, because the kid's only under protective custody for a little while, and rather than getting taken away from Sam Neill, the kid decides to run away with him.
Okay.
So it's they're on the run at the same time, and it's just a really, really great film.
Okay.
A lot of twists and a lot of comedy.
Kind of like, what's that movie, Gloria? Have you heard of that movie?
No, what is that?
So it's a movie from the early 90s, and I think it's a Sidney Lumet movie. And it's kind of like the same thing, like this well, sort of. This woman has a young boy that she's kind of running with. I don't know if it's her son or not, but she's running away from her ex-boyfriend who's part of the mob. It kind of sounds vaguely similar.
Yeah, it's a trope. Like I said, it's like Lone Wolf and Cub. I think was one of the first ones to do it, which is like a samurai and a baby hanging out.
Okay. Yeah.
It has a Reese Darby cameo. That's,
I love Reese Darby. Yeah.
Wait, who is that?
He's
He's one of the
Murray.
guys on Flight of the Conchords.
and
Okay.
he's just a comedian. I don't know what other things.
Is he
he's done.
their
He was
manager?
well, he's like one of their buddies.
Yeah.
He's in the best episode of the newest season of the X-Files.
Oh yeah, he plays the lizard man.
He plays the Lizard Man.
I have not seen that yet.
Oh.
That episode is worth watching.
That episode is so good. It went on my list of essential X-Files episodes.
Yeah.
Really?
The only one of the new season, and it's really funny.
So that movie was awesome. I don't know when it'll be in theaters. I think later this year, probably video on demand early next year.
Okay.
But Also, see What We Do in the Shadows if you haven't seen that.
Yeah, I
I'll
do
put
want to
that on
see
the
that.
list. I've heard of that one.
I saw Obit, which is about obituary writers who work for the New York Times.
Documentary?
A documentary.
Oh,
The other two are
the fact that
documentaries.
those would be like a whole job for that.
Yeah, and they work, long hours. They went through a couple interviews, like explaining what they were, and they just went through a couple of like interesting deaths that occurred. Like, there's a guy who had a rowboat across the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. When he died, they went to his, and it goes into just stories of what goes into writing an obituary, like what people do and don't have to be in order to get into the New York Times obituary section.
That's what I was going to ask.
Okay.
What does it take to...
Yeah, so they usually take just people who have done significant things or invented something. Like the guy who invented the Slinky was mentioned.
So these are significant people in our lives or
Yes.
in someone's life.
Yep, and then you have to go through an editorial process where they determine whether or not this person's worthy of getting into the section, and then they go forward and they write the article. And they have a whole office floor just dedicated to the obituary section.
Huh, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Are there a lot of documentaries there, or is it...
There were a lot of documentaries for sure, and that was something that Michael Moore is trying to. documentarian.
Yeah, he is.
But he's trying to push just to get those in theaters in general because they're usually just found on Netflix.
Yeah,
or
it is harder
downloads
to
or
find
HBO.
them in a screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a couple interesting things that they mentioned about they hold on to, or they pre-write obituaries for people who are ailing. Like when Farrah Fawcett died, they had stuff ready for her to go.
Okay.
But then when Michael Jackson died the same day, her stuff kind of got took secondary to what he did.
Right.
And the snap decision to put him before her. And, it was just really interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a cool topic. One I wouldn't consider that.
Yeah,
I wonder if
it's put together
I'm
pretty well.
curious to see if that one will end up on Netflix or something.
Yeah, I'd say
I
so.
can imagine it having a life there on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
The next one I saw told a lot more of a narrative. It was called Unlocking the Cage, and it was an HBO documentary that's going to air beginning of next year about non-human rights. And there's a guy who's been working since 2013 to give chimpanzees who are under poor circumstances the rights in front of
Human rights.
a human right just for basic living. And they wanted to get to the Save the Animals campaign, which is they have a preserve set up, which is just replicates how
Now,
chimpanzees would live.
Is this for chimps in the wild, or is it for chimps that are being
testing
having
monkeys?
tests on
Testing,
them?
yep. He's got a lot of lawsuits out right now. One of them was chimps who are being tested on.
Okay.
There was a Stony Brook, I think was the name of the college in New York, that had 2 chimpanzees, and they were doing tests on them, and he was trying to get them out. And they eventually, Stony Brook gave up the chimps without having to go to court. So
Yeah.
and it's just very interesting to see this guy's, crusade, and what non-human rights might occur in the next couple of years. I know they talked about in India, dolphins are protected.
Yeah.
Under rights.
I feel like that needs to happen in Japan.
Oh my
Dolphins
gosh.
Yeah.
have a very
What's the documentary
secretive
about
the Cove.
the Cove?
The
Yeah.
Cove, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, that was a crazy documentary.
So he's basically saying that chimpanzees, orcas and whales, and elephants are the 3. They have intelligence enough to understand their circumstance, and that they don't want to. They have emotions and feelings, and are smart enough to know.
And can feel
not
pain. And
feel pain.
Yeah.
They know that if they were in a cage today, that they're probably going to be in a cage tomorrow. They don't have any kind of short-term memory or.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, they're cognitive of what it is to exist and what it feels like to be alive.
Okay.
It was really good. That was a really good one.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, and there's the directors did a Q&A afterwards, and she said that she has to keep changing the ending because there's new information that keeps coming out.
Oh
As
yeah.
a documentary, because
Okay.
it's the case. All the cases are still active.
And this
right
is an
now in New York.
HBO show or,
Yeah, it's
or movie.
Yep. and
Maybe there will be more parts to it or something like that.
Yeah, there definitely
HBO
should
doesn't
be a lot of-
mind doing that.
There should be a lot of follow up to it, and it was really interesting to see this guy's take on it. And he gets laughed at a lot by people, and it's hard to which side you want to defend. You want to. I mean, you obviously feel bad for the monkeys and the apes, but do you want to give them the same rights as people? It's
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
It's a complex issue.
It's a weird, it's a gray area where, some of the testing that we're doing probably benefits us, but at what cost? Who
Right.
are we hurting?
Mm-hmm.
I can understand doing testing on animals in order to
Doing
keep
like
society
cancer
going, or-
research.
yeah.
And, we launched they went through launching the monkey into space, seeing what the effects of that would be on something. And
Yeah.
I mean, you can't help but feel bad. So there is a bias going to it that you want these chimpanzees to be free and not locked up in a cage all day.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Nowadays, they wouldn't shoot a monkey into space unless they know that every precaution is taken.
but
But they probably wouldn't shoot him into space not knowing what would happen, I feel like, today.
But I definitely want to go next year, and I want to see a lot more films because they were all awesome.
So is it always during August?
Yeah, at the end of July into August. Yeah.
End of July and August, okay.
So every weekend there's usually something big going on in Traverse City. I think this weekend's Cherry Festival.
Oh,
But I think it's always
it's always
Cherry
Cherry
Festival in
Festival.
I think
Traverse
it's
City.
huge.
But it's like specifically like this weekend. And
Yeah.
Okay.
So how much did you said it was $50 for a membership?
so if you
or-
want to buy tickets early to get a guaranteed to see a film, you pay $50 and you get to buy them a week in advance before they go on sale to the public.
So you spend $50, you get access to all the seating, and then you buy your tickets.
Yes, you get
Okay.
first dibs to buy tickets.
Yeah.
And then how much is it per ticket?
It was $12.
Okay, like a regular movie screening.
So they converted an elementary school into 2 theaters. They brought in like seats and just like turned an auditorium into a theater, and that's where I saw him for the older people, and it was really nice.
Okay.
I only went to 2 of the theaters there. I didn't go to the State Theater there or the Beiju, which are supposed to be like really good theaters.
Yeah.
But I saw one at like the Old City Playhouse, and I went to they have panels all the time. Going on to the comedy panel on Saturday morning and just listen to that. And, I mean, there's always stuff to do. There's always things to be doing from 9 a.m. until midnight.
What was like the general size of the crowd there? How many people were participating and attending?
Every single movie was sold out. The panel was maybe 80% full, but mine wasn't a big one. At the end of the one I slept in and we didn't go. Michael Moore had like a special guest, so I'm not sure who it is yet, but that one probably filled up. And that one, there's a lot of free stuff to do. Like the panels are free, and then the nighttime movies are free.
Nice.
Okay. That sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun.
It was awesome.
Sounds really cool.
Definitely gonna go again next year.
I'm not coming with you.
We got invited. You know what? I kind of want to get this podcast to be like a dream, like a big goal is to get us to
At the
record a
Traverse City
podcast there.
That'd be
Film
pretty
Festival.
cool.
Yeah, record somewhere there.
Yeah.
And show a movie and then talk about it and just do
Next
a thing.
year.
That'd be
That's our
really
that's
awesome.
our overall goal.
We're already at like 100,000 subscribers, about to hit 1 million subscribers.
We almost have 1,000 listens. That's pretty
We
good.
almost got Casper
Yeah.
Mattress supporting us.
The Casper the Friendly Ghost is gonna get behind us.
Way behind us. It's gonna spook the crap out of us.
But yeah, that's a big ambition. I really want us to go there.
That'd be
and
very cool.
Do a podcast.
Sounds fantastic.
Hashtag what we remember to Traverse City.
Well,
Get it trending.
2017.
Get it trending.
Trend it.
tag that later. Tag that when
Tag
it's-
that in like a few months
Yeah.
when things start to get scheduled.
when it starts to pick up.
Mhm.
Fair enough.
That's it.
That's
Awesome.
That's it.
Well, wrap it up. Don't say that's it.
it. Give us an outro.
Oh, what do you mean? This was what we saw.
This
on
is Brad-
Traverse City Film Festival.
No, you'd be
edition?
like, that was my report on the Traverse
That was
City."
my report on the Traverse City Film Festival 2016. Back to you, George. And then-
This is like a high school. It's like a high school news
News report.
announcement.
Yeah.
yeah, essentially.